Hey, what's happening? Episode 91. I am Shane.
And I'm Nico.
And we're very happy to have the Sweet Meteor O'Death back on the show. It's been a while. So how are you doing up there?
Very well. Everything's going on track according to plan.
Yeah, we're noticed that your voice is different. What's going on?
Honestly, the voice modulation tech has just gotten a lot better, and I've been able to recreate a pretty realistic average human voice as accurately as possible, at least more accurately than previous.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I mean, you sound like an actual human now. So, good job.
Yeah.
It's taken a lot of work, and I'm still struggling with it. You'll hear me say some things. You'll hear me talk in some funny ways, use some funny terms, but I'm doing my best to try and sound as much like a human as possible.
Is that like?
I've got a.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, my thought was that if there's any remnant of the culture that I can preserve after I destroy it, it might be good just for historical purposes. So thought I'd do that, and but again, like I said, you'll hear me say some things every once in a while. I'll be talking, or I'll use a phrase that probably gives me away as not very, very human. And that's just the nature of the Zordak.
Yeah,
I just did it.
I was gonna say, are you trying to be more human so that people will be more likely to vote for you, or like, I don't know.
Boredom, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Well, I was also thinking too that, because recently the Rock came out with his endorsement. So I'm thinking, well, oh yeah, well I'm an actual Rock. So
yeah, the Rock.
Yeah.
That guy, he's definitely not a Rock. Tell you that.
Yeah, does it kind of
confirm that he's 100% human, definitely not a Rock.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, does it offend you that people know him as the Rock? Maybe because he has such big muscles. I guess that's the reason why people call him the Rock or whatever. But I know it's back in when he was wrestling or whatever. Like that was his stage name and everything.
Rocks don't have muscles though.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
True. Yeah. I mean, it is. It's kind of like the asteroid equivalent of someone wearing blackface or something. Not really. I'm not really cool with that.
Yeah, so I'm sure if you guys fought hand-to-hand combat, I think we probably know who would win that because you just go at 1,000,000 miles an hour and it's pretty much over, right?
Yeah, I mean it would not even be a thing. It would be just so quick and instantaneous and blindingly hot and devastating that it would not even be a thing to observe. Like you couldn't even actually observe it and live.
Yeah, so probably dead.
Yeah.
So I don't even think about the Rock other than kind of mildly note my annoyance at people assuming the cultural appropriation of rock of rock identity, which is fraught with a long history of oppression and prejudice. So, which is why again, it's not something that I like to talk about. But yeah, I'll make myself vulnerable for this episode, and tell you that it's pretty offensive, and I don't like what he's doing. But he made his endorsement. That's fine. He can do what he wants. It's just not very cool.
Well, speaking of vulnerable, one of the things that we wanted to ask you was about how because coronavirus here in planet Earth has affected a lot of people, and obviously people have their opinions on it and how to combat it. Even people think it's as dangerous as it really is. So that's a whole other story. But for you, since you're kind of going around all over the space and everything like that, can you kind of tell us about how, or if coronavirus has impacted any other galaxies out there?
Well, every galaxy's got their own plague and their own different things they're dealing with. This coronavirus is pretty, small potatoes in the grand scheme of things. But it does have some cultural relevancy, I think, because of the large discrepancy of who is impacted by it. Generally, it is most devastating for the older populations. And since you guys live in a gerontocracy where your Senate is basically entirely made of over 70-year-olds, and is there are no jobs for millennials because all the 70-year-olds refuse to retire, and you're going to continue living in your parents' basements, and you're going to have kids in your parents' basements, and your kids are going to live in their grandparents' basement, and I see that as kind of interesting development, almost like that movie Midsommar. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where instead of having a cultural tradition where once the elders of the culture reach a certain age, they commit ritual suicide in an Atta Stupa or whatever they called it. But this is just the virus does it for you. Or at least thins the herd a little bit. I think it's pretty lame. Virus takes a slow time doing it. I also, I got no opinion on whether taking out the older people is a good thing or a bad thing. Just kind of interesting. I prefer to just take out everyone all at once, clean slate, and not just people too. Basically, anything that has a metabolism.
I was gonna say it sounds less painful to die instantly rather than suffer with coronavirus complications, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think it would be.
So another thing that kind of just popped up in my head, because in an earlier we were talking about, how the Rock has been culturally appropriating the Rock and other rocks out there and all that stuff. Does it kind of
how he wears rock face?
Yeah,
wears rock face all the time. Just completely, insensitive. Should run for governor of Virginia. He could probably still hold that position.
Yeah, it's possible. But does it kind of annoy you about? Because I'm sure you've seen, when you're kind of going around and kind of seeing exactly where you're gonna hit the Earth. I mean, it probably doesn't even matter because I'm sure once you hit it, it's over. But have you seen the giant meteor signs as well? Because you're the Sweet Meteor O'Death, and you see giant meteor kind of taking some of your fame. I'm sure that kind of pisses you off, right?
No, not really. Whatever was out there raise awareness of the apocalypse, I support it. If anyone wants to join in and support the apocalypse in whatever way they can, that's great. I encourage them to do so. And as long as they're not supporting an actual vapid vampire political candidate, then I support that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've seen giant meteor signs, but I think I've seen a couple Sweet Meteor O'Death bumper sticker or signs or something like that. So
there's stuff out there. They've done a handful of merch. You can go to sweetmeteor.com if you want to look at any of that. It's not a huge amount. Other people have done more. The funny thing about the Sweet Meteor of Death is that that was not actually coined by me. It had its genesis from a blog site that I think is still in operation called Ace of Spades or Ace of Spades Headquarters back in 2012 when the Republican primary was going on, and the bloggers at Ace of Spades, rather than endorse any of the Republican primary candidates, endorsed the Sweet Meteor of Death. That was, I think, when the phrase itself was coined. And then as being a space rock heading towards Earth, ready to bring the apocalypse, I kind of just picked it up as my moniker. But they actually coined the phrase, and so I just said, hey, well, if that's how you're going to refer to me, I'll take that. That's fine. just kind of like how Shaquille O'Neal's family calls themselves the O'Neals, even though they may or may not be Irish. I don't know, but it's just I said, I'll take that name. I'm not gonna correct you. Give me a name, I'll take it. Whatever, that's fine.
That's good to know. At least there's some awareness out there. So any awareness is good.
Yeah, it's weird.
So yeah, so if other people want to do a giant meteor thing or have a bumper stickers, I encourage that. No trademark on any of this. There's no intellectual property. There's no anything like that. Go do what you will with it because it's all going to go away very soon. None of this matters.
Well, that is true. And speaking of, I guess things that probably don't matter, the presidential debate happened recently, and a lot of people are saying that it was a joke. It was terrible. Other people saying it was entertaining and the greatest thing that ever happened to politics. So what was your thoughts on all that, and who do you think won?
See, the thing is that Trump's advantage is that he's hilarious. I mean, like if you just look at him as an entertainer, he's the funniest guy that's ever run for political office, especially the president ever. He's an entertainer, even though he's like, in comparison to other entertainers, he may not be that funny, but just he's not even acting. He just is who he is. He's a character, and he just plays it, and that's I think how he won. And he's always played this character, but lately his character is not, he's got to get back into entertaining. He's got to get back into doing the funny things that he did. That's how he won. I think people laughed and liked him, and but now he's just taking himself too seriously and gets too brutish. And so I think he knows he's losing. I think he knows he's got, he's surrounded by idiots. He probably recognizes that in some respect and thinks it's all about coming back and getting the ratings back up somehow. And who knows? Maybe he'll do it. Maybe he won't. Maybe this whole COVID infection thing will rouse some sympathy for our old Presidente. I don't know. But I thought the debate was a poor showing of his entertainment skills. The original debates, like the game against Hillary Clinton, was just hilarious. When in the town hall one, where they were all standing up, and he said you should be in jail. That was classic.
Yeah,
I mean that was just pure. That was classic Trump. And and now it's just kind of he's got to get his mojo back. He's got to get his flow back. Biden's an easy target. Biden's basically, just a barely functioning senior citizen, who is like, how they do polls where they test for would you vote for this guy or the generic Democrat? Mm-hmm. Biden is as close to the generic Democrat as he can possibly get. And I think that's a Democrat strategy, is that rather than try and stand for anything or be anyone, they just put in the generic Democrat and hope that that's a better alternative to, the crazy reality TV star. Maybe it is. I don't know. But he'd be easy to take down if Trump, could just get his mojo back. I don't know if he can, though. We'll see.
I was just going to say, he's been pretty, the coronavirus has made him even more low energy. So hopefully, because isn't the next debate in 13 or 12 days or something like that?
It's pretty close.
I don't know if that's even going to happen now.
Yeah.
Who do you guys think won the first debate? Or what was your take on that?
Well, it was definitely a lot happened, I think, in terms of just a lot of interrupting and Chris Wallace completely losing the whole debate.
Yeah. Chris Wallace was such a duke. I don't know what he was thinking, He reminded me of Kip from Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh yeah.
Trying to just trying so hard to take some element of control and failing miserably. Wow.
But I thought Trump had some funny moments. One that I can remember
I know what you're gonna say.
is where Joe Biden was saying number one, and then he says something, and then he goes number two, number three, and but it was also but Trump was also talking at the same time, and Trump stopped. He goes, "You're on number two." He completely skipped over a number.
Or what about that time where he was talking about Joe Biden wearing a mask, and then he was he wears
a
giant mask.
Yeah.
That was great.
The biggest
mask I got a mask right here. I'll wear a mask. That's whatever, But you think I wear a mask all the time, and it's huge. It's hideous.
Right.
It's disgusting. Yeah, I thought that was great. And Biden can Biden's got his own mojo too if he gets it going. If he starts doing his "come on, Jack," and listen, Mac, we got come on, man, you're like a 70s car, man. No one even likes a Trans Am anymore, and
right.
So it starts talking like it's the 50s or something.
Yeah.
Where you taking his straight razors and put them in the water to make them rusty. And Cornbot came out there, and I got this chain and wrapped it around, and hey, man, or calls Trump fat and challenges him to push-ups. That's the Biden I want to see. The Biden's look, fat. We're gonna do. You want to do some push-ups right now, and just starts doing push-ups on stage. He did that, he would win.
See, I think Trump's problem in the debate was he kept interrupting him so much that he didn't let Joe Biden say anything weird. If he would have let him just keep talking, then he would have said something weird.
Yeah.
So
and Trump, Wallace is trying to hand Trump softballs, just trying to pitch him softballs, and Trump is too stupid to understand the moderately, complicated things that Wallace is trying to articulate. Trump has no idea; he's just completely oblivious, and just is interrupting him and and throwing him off track when Wallace is trying to help him. He was just shooting himself in the foot all the time to get in some jibe about Hunter or or Biden being a socialist or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
which is I don't know. It's like he wants to run against Bernie, but
right. Yeah, another moment too was I think Joe Biden was talking about smart or whatever like that, and Donald Trump don't ever use the word smart by me, man. You're not smart. So,
I mean, it definitely anyone who watched it emerged from that debate dumber than they did when they entered it. It was painful. It was I was just at the bare minimum, you just can hope that it's entertaining. It's not going to be illuminating. That it's not going to be some masterful exchange of of democratic ideals or something like that. At best, you can hope that it's going to be entertaining, and it wasn't even that. And so, yeah.
So, I guess in terms of just the election and everything like that, who in terms of the two front runners, who do you think, as of right now, who do you think has the best chance?
See, the thing is that Biden has the best chance right now. That's pretty clear, just based on the numbers and also based on the way everything's going. The thing with Trump, though, is that he's a wild card, and there's so many different wild cards out there, and Trump has got a ridiculously devoted base, and and if he does something just to kind of win enough people over, as some sort of humanize himself and make himself somewhat appealing, and someone that some people who are on the fence want to root for, which is whole COVID hospitalization thing could make an impact. I don't know. It could change things. Who knows? But he's also he's just kind of stupid in that regard, and I don't know if he's willing to pull that off. I don't know. There's a whole lot of X factors out there, right? There's what about this whole mail-in voting thing? Is it going to discourage? How many people are going to be discouraged from voting? How many votes are going to be counted on election night? What's going to happen afterwards? What's going to happen with the courts? There's a whole mess of stuff out there. I don't know. The only thing I'm certain about is that it's going to end in asteroid apocalypse. It kills everyone.
Well, there you go. That seems to be the most sensical outcome, I would think, right?
Yeah, I mean, after all this mess, there's not a better outcome.
Right. I mean, there could be, there could be some really hilarious outcomes that, I mean, it can get funnier, and I hope it does. I would like to see a Zoom debate. That would actually be kind of hilarious. That would be pretty funny, because both candidates would have their policy advisors right next to them, typing on the laptop or writing out their answers on a notepad, and that would be just great. And they would also you'd expose these guys as basically just technological. It would just be hilarious to have a Zoom debate. Especially if they had to avoid talking over each other, which was almost impossible the last one.
You just
I
mute
don't know.
on Zoom.
Yep. Yeah. And everyone who was complaining, oh, why, wish you had a mute button or something. It's like, well, there's your chance if they do have a Zoom meeting or something like that.
If Trump and Biden are debating and Trump's in the hospital on Zoom?
Yeah, and they had to put like what is it called? Those little glass barriers around him so he can't spread the coronavirus out.
Oh yeah.
Or what if he came out wearing the World War I chemical gas mask?
Yeah.
Or Biden comes out in one of those bubble helmets.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Or maybe he wears
there's so many ways it could be hilarious.
Yeah, or they just wear a paper bag or something.
Then we wouldn't know if it's really him.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the Bane mask.
Yeah, there you go.
You could. I mean, there's so many ways that this could be. They could honestly be entertaining and not just be a depressing, element of reminder of the decaying nature of human civilization. But that's about as most as anyone can hope for.
So, with all this entertainment that you're getting from politics and everything like that, especially with Trump now in politics and everything like that, does it kind of make you rethink about just completely destroying the world and having to start over again?
No.
Okay. I guess it's not making it any better.
That's right. No. I mean, death is inevitable, and you just got to find a way to laugh until it happens. But remember, it's happening, and I'm bringing it. It's coming for everyone.
So, obviously you're running for president. You have your campaign, and you have your website with all your merchandise and everything like that. So, can you let the people know why they should write you in and vote for you as president?
Well, first of all, I don't care if you or not. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect the apocalypse. If you want to write me in, that's great. I support that. Go ahead. I encourage that only because you should have zero emotional investment in any politician ever. It's the worst thing you can do with your emotional energy. Don't invest it in any political party. Don't invest it in any politician. Invest it anywhere else. So if people are taking their emotional energy and putting it somewhere else besides Rachel Maddow or some sort of political personality, that's great. I encourage that, and I want everyone to do that. I don't care if you write me in or whatever, but don't ever put an ounce of emotional energy into a political candidate or any personality in politics. You can go ahead and support political causes. You can go ahead and support a policy change, policy ideas. That's all great. The moment you invest any sort of emotional attachment or anything to a political personality, you basically are a decaying husk of a human being, and you're just you're wasting the sweet time you have left on this earth. So don't do that.
That's some pretty good advice from a meteor.
Well, I just doing it out of mercy because you only have a little bit of time left.
Yeah, isn't it
And
only like 2 months or something? 1 month?
well, what's that old gospel saying? You never know the hour or the day. You
Oh,
don't, and I'm not going to tell you. It's going to
great.
come, and you just have to know that it's inevitable, but it's soon.
So who was the group
And
of people that said that wasn't the Aztecs that said the world was going to end in 2012? I guess they weren't anticipating a meteor.
yeah, the Mayans.
Mayans,
Mayan
right? Yeah.
calendar, yeah.
Yeah.
They meant to say
Yeah.
20.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Mayans. Yeah, that's I don't know. I mean, they were kind of hilarious in a way that they built all these amazing structures and then just were like, whatever, I would rather live in the jungle, and just abandoned them. It's like, I don't know. Imagine if everyone in New York City just like ran into the forest and was like, whatever, New York sucks.
Isn't that
I don't know. That would be
right now? I heard 1 million people left New York City.
That's true. Really good point. We'll see. I don't know. Yeah, you think the funny thing too is you hear other people that like bark and stuff about climate change, which is on the grand scheme of things, yes, real, and there's based in science and all that stuff. But I'll start to believe that it's a real thing that's like imminent or something that people should actually care about when you can no longer buy a $3 million house on the Florida coast. Like what kind of bank's going to write a mortgage for a house that's going to be underwater? I don't know.
Yeah, I thought parts of the states are supposed to be underwater by now.
Right. Yeah. If the best, if the highest paid mind, in finance capital are writing, mortgages for property that's going to be underwater before the mortgage is up. Then when that starts happening, then I would say, all right, maybe global warming, something that start kicking in a year over. I don't know. Not a scientist. That's just my thought as a space rock.
Well, speaking of Florida, we do have some Florida man stories that we'd like to get your thoughts on.
Oh yes.
I mean, Florida is always the beacon of light here in America.
I don't know.
Florida is
talking about, but
Florida is a special place. It's like the short bus of states.
Yeah. So this first story that we have here is whole or almond milk. Fight over which is better lands Florida man in jail.
There's no way that guy was on the side of almond milk.
Right.
Yeah, now I need to know. Okay. In a Facebook post, authorities wrote that Garcia, who is Florida man, cried over spilled milk because the victim wouldn't agree that his choice of milk was obviously superior. Okay, but what kind of milk was he talking about?
So there's this Facebook post. It looks like it's from the county sheriff's office. And so the post reads, "Got milk? Hilarious. 2 men got into a verbal argument this weekend over which type of milk was better, almond milk or whole milk. The argument got heated, eventually escalating into a physical altercation. After being punched in the face, the victim was chased by the suspect while he held a pocket knife.
Wow.
The victim was then struck with the knife, causing a small laceration on his torso. And and then like you said, he cried over spilled milk because the victim wouldn't agree. So apparently he stabbed him because he wouldn't agree with him.
I mean, part of me is like, all right, well, first of all, no one that would prefer almond milk has ever punched anyone in the face. But then the other part of me is like, well, if someone was going to stab someone with a pocket knife, they probably are the almond milk drinker. So I don't know. I'm on the fence on this.
Wow, they didn't even tell you which person liked almond milk.
They wanted to keep you hanging on that. They're going to leave you hanging.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe the guy's lactose intolerant. Like, it's and almond milk is his saving grace. I don't know. Who knows?
Is this the police report?
Yeah, they have the entire criminal complaint here. That's hilarious.
I mean, if I'm a juror in this trial and they don't tell me what side of the milk debate he's on, I'm voting to acquit, because I gotta know. This is a critical fact. Whoever did this reporting is terrible.
Yeah, they don't even say who it is, so now I'm disappointed.
Man, $25,000 bond.
Wow, that's a lot of money to be wasted on milk.
I know. Like, just
and
all
you don't
that.
even get any milk.
I know. All that.
Sometimes those bond numbers, you got to be careful of those, because sometimes it means you got to just post 10% of that. I don't know. I'm not a criminal law expert, but sometimes the bond, when they say a certain bond number, but the actual amount of cash you have to put up is not actually that amount. I don't know.
Well, the next one that we have
is not any better than that one.
Yeah, but it's still food related. I guess this is gonna be all food related weird news stories, just letting everyone know. Okay. So this next one is still Florida man, but this Florida man claims he was injured by chicken McNugget and sues McDonald's. But there is actually not that bad of a reason, because after claiming to have broken his tooth on a surprise bone nestled within a chicken McNugget, a man in Palm Beach, Florida is suing McDonald's. So,
well, he should sue him.
Yeah.
I mean, no one buys a chicken McNugget and expects to get an actual part of a chicken.
Right.
Everyone knows there's no chicken in those things.
We just get it
and so that's just it's McDonald's fault for actually including chicken parts in that. I don't know. But no, I mean, it's
and this writer wanted to have a little joke in here, and they said he took pictures of the crispy criminal, hilarious, along with the bone that had caused him so much discomfort, sharing them as evidence. Crispy criminal, good one. Not a smooth criminal like Michael Jackson, a crispy criminal. So
I mean, this one is is that as far as Florida man stories goes, that one's on the extremely mild side.
Yeah, when I was looking up that news story, I didn't even know it was Florida man. So
yeah.
But the last one that we have is not Florida man, but it is related to fast food again.
Yeah, this one's kind of funny. I mean, not that the other ones weren't funny, but this one just it kind of makes you just wonder, I mean, maybe there's some different standards, I'm guessing. I mean, it's possible. But anyway, so this one says Burger King thinks it deserves a Michelin star. And apparently this is in Belgium, I think, this Burger King. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The fast food giant's Belgian arm launched a petition demanding a sought-after star for its new Master Angus burger, encouraging followers to sign an online petition aimed at Michelin guide inspectors.
I mean, this is clearly a PR piece driven by some public relations, absolute just some ghoul who works in public relations, who is probably honestly some of the worst people ever. And this is just some thing where they hatch a plan to say, hey, petition for a Michelin star, it'll be so crazy it'll get a bunch of news. And then someone picks it up at CNN because, hey, I hope to get a job at this public relations firm after I'm done with this shit CNN job someday. So yeah, I'll scratch your back. And next thing they put on CNN, and Burger King gets some quantifiable $1 million amount of publicity for some stupid publicity stunt. Yeah, it's just classic. It's just classic public relations horseshit. Yeah, I mean, this one. Sorry to take all the humor out of it, but I mean, this is exactly what public relations ghouls do, and man, I can't wait to kill all of them.
Well,
it's just gonna, you know, it's going to be great.
well, apparently, at first it didn't kind of go off so well when they first took out this petition or whatever. But apparently, it did actually get a response on Facebook from the Michelin Guide's social media team. And
Oh yeah, because Michelin is like, you know, no one knows who the hell we are, and so yeah, we're gonna play in this publicity stunt too. We're gonna ham it up, you know, and it's gonna, you know, and we'll play the villain on this one or the whoever, and you know, like there's who cares about Michelin stars? You know, like if you're a person who cares about Michelin stars, like you can like honestly just you know just jump into a volcano because your life is over. Your life has zero meaning. And yeah, so this is one of those stories that is yeah, it's it's like when the brands start going at it on Twitter, you know.
Oh yeah. It's like, how are we going to explain this to future generations?
Right. I know Wendy's has such a great Twitter account. So the Michelin Guide, it said, "Who said you needed silver service?" And they jokingly promised that an inspector would judge the burger on its standard set of criteria, which includes the quality of its ingredients, the mastery of cooking, the harmony of flavors, and how much the personality of the chef comes through in the dish. Basically, what they're saying is, you're getting none of that, so go screw yourself.
Right. I mean, I think a better thing to judge fast food on is like on their mascots. You know, like as like that is I haven't seen a fast food commercial for ages. Does Burger King still have that insane huge king looking guy as their mascot?
I think so,
no
but
idea.
yeah, I think like for a while that king was like going on and off. I think he's still one of their mascots, if not the mascot.
What other mascots are still? I know Jack in the Box has their their crazy Jack guy.
Yeah.
That, you know, and then I mean the Yo Quiero Taco Bell dog. I don't know if you guys I don't know if that's before your time.
Oh, the
Taco
dog.
Bell Chihuahua.
Yeah, little Chihuahua. Yeah, Yo Quiero Taco Bell.
Oh yeah, okay.
Right.
What you're talking about. Yeah.
I don't, and then you know, and then obviously Ronald McDonald, but you know,
Right.
he's there's McDonald's whole cast of characters. That was the whole thing. I don't know. Are there any other what other mascots are there for? Well, there's Jared for Subway.
Oh well, there you go.
they don't talk about him very much anymore. I don't know why. He was a great mascot.
What was his last name? I can't remember.
Yeah, Jared Fogle. Yeah, he was. I mean, honestly, bring him back. He was effective. He got a lot of notoriety for Subway. What's that guy up to nowadays?
I don't know. He just disappeared.
I know.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Maybe he's got a family and some kids or something.
Yeah, but now all fast food restaurants have are just clever Twitter accounts, quote unquote clever. Because you know, Wendy's, they have like a really good social media account. They'll reply with some funny tweet or something like that. And then Arby's has I think it's Arby's where it's like a picture that they made with like ketchup or something like that, and it's always some like nerdy picture or something like that.
The funny, I mean, like Wendy's Twitter one is, you know, they're like they probably do a decent job. I mean, you know, they're not Steakums. I mean, like, I don't even know what the hell Steakums is. I've never eaten it. I don't know, you know, like, I don't know what it is. I know their Twitter account, you know, but the funniest Arby's PR thing I've ever seen. It was cringe level, probably like 9,000. Was, you know, the Nihilist Arby's account on Twitter?
I don't think
Nihilist
so.
Arby's. Mm-hmm. What? You guys don't know Nihilist Arby's? Oh my god!
I know we're losers.
Type that in right now. Just look it up. Just do it. You're like, whoever follows you. I'm doing a public service to introduce you to Nihilist Arby's. I can't. I'm actually kind of disappointed in both of you. I really am. But your viewers are going to like this.
Their at is nihilist_Arby's.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I see some people that we follow also follow it too. Wow. What have we been doing on social media this whole time?
I know, right?
Experience.
Jeez.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Nihilist Arby's, check them out. They're hilarious. A great Twitter account. They came out, obviously not affiliated with Arby's. And then, but then when they were first starting becoming popular, some obviously just cringe transparent attempt to flip the script from Arby's marketing department came out, and someone created a Twitter account called Optimist Arby's.
Wow.
And it was, it's just such an arcane. It lasted for a week, but you can imagine, like, Nihilist Arby's is hilarious. Optimist Arby's was like, what the hell are you trying to do? What is, like, this is, they're like, oh, our roast beef and cheese sandwich makes you think life is great. And it was like a reply guy account, all the Nihilist Arby's stuff. And it was, it lasted for, probably not even the length of this show, but it lasted long enough that I'm like, that was the worst idea in marketing ever. Whoever had that idea should just go back to accounting or whatever non-creative job they were doing before, because they failed. They no longer need to be here. Just go away. But that's just follow Nihilist Arby's, check them out. It'll make Twitter a much more enjoyable place for everyone.
Well, see, there's a person behind that Twitter account, and so if you destroy Earth, you'll be destroying that Twitter account.
See, I'm not sure there is a person behind it, but in any event, there's there's a lot. You gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet. There's a handful of redeemable things on Earth that may or may not be quote unquote good. It'll be sad to see them go. But you know what? I'm really just saving everyone a lot of pain. So on balance, I think it's better.
Well, we'll go ahead and end it there.
Before he ends it there.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean.
And I'm not meaning that literally, Mr. Meteor. I'm not meaning that for real. At least not yet, But anyway, do you want to go ahead and plug all the stuff that you want to go ahead and let everyone know about?
No, not really. If you really care enough to go and buy a Sweet Meteor O'Death shirt or bumper sticker or whatever, sure, go ahead. I don't care. You're smart enough to Google and find all the stuff. There's things all over the place. If you buy it from someone else, you can buy it from me. I don't care. The only thing I implore you to do, please don't waste an ounce of emotional energy on any politician ever for the rest of your life. Don't encourage anyone to do it. Don't engage in an earnest debate about what political party is better or anything like that. Stop. Just stop right there. Okay?
All right.
Talk about policy, but don't engage with any of this red team, blue team, my guy, your guy sort of bullshit. Just stop. Okay? You're just asking to waste years and years of your life, and I'm trying to save you from that. I'm also trying to kill you, but before I do that, I'm also trying to save you from that terrible emotional investment. That's the only plug I want to make.
Oh, very, very nice of you before you kill us. So I want to thank you for coming on the show and taking time out of your, I don't know if you would call it a day because you're traveling through space, but
Right, what do they call them on Mars? They call them souls, SOLs. I think the instead of a day. Yeah, that's a weird time. Time, it's a weird thing. Does it even exist? I don't know. Are we all just into some, do we live in some sort of time, 3D based time continuum like the heptapods in Arrival? I don't know the answer to that thing. That's beyond me. Say that for another day. But anyways, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, we're all just dust in the wind.
Good way to end.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks again, Meteor, for coming on. And we will see you in the next episode.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'd be happy to. Thank you for having me.